A good ball played in for Tony Morley. Oh, he missed it! It is! Nick away! Villa in the lead!
Hello, Aston Villa fans, and welcome to the Villa Forever podcast. I am your host, Chad Williams. Please subscribe. You can help me to the road to 2K and give this video the thumbs up. Join me, my Monday show regular, Aaron Thornton, who is the host of the Football Brief. This is the Avfc weekly recap, your weekly dose of Aston Villa news and headlines. Aston Villa have their Champions League hopes hanging in the balance. On Saturday, it finished Aston Villa 1, Fulham 0, and this was a crucial 3 points, and it's 20 games unbeaten at Villa Park, and we're back to winning ways after Wembley disappointment. Great to have the show, mate. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Chad. As always, it's a pleasure to be on here. Yeah, I'm good. I'm doing a lot better this week than I was this time last Monday. I think the win certainly helped that. Yeah, it's I think it's very much tick one off. 3 more big games to go now. We've got to just move on to the next and look forward. So yeah, how are you feeling, mate? How you doing?
Yeah, right. I mean, I just like to say actually, Friday night was a great night. To get for Acorns. I just like to say thank you to everyone who donated online and who attended. Even the ones who contributed who didn't attend. It was a real proud moment for me. It was my first live in-person event. We had Justin Hannah from the UTV Fan Channel, and our Frankie Maguire for All Villa No Filler, and Penny Kenny for the Paul McGrath podcast. And so I met so many lovely people, and it's a moment which I will never forget. And the total that we raised altogether at the moment, including online, was 1,100, which is absolutely incredible.
Fantastic, mate.
Thank you all for all your generosity. And I'm sure I will do another event like that again. So, mate,
just want to say I'm equally really proud of you, and I saw some of the images and some of the clips, and I mean, whilst I was gutted that I couldn't be there, it looked amazing. And honestly, Chad, you've it just shows you how far you've come with your podcast and with all your networking and just being a a real positive force online and bringing people together. It was a real good, it looked like a real good evening, mate. So well done, and I really hope to be at the next one, man.
Going for after over 2 years, so I've been doing a lot of live in-person events. It's incredible, really.
Again, though, Chad, it just, you are an inspiration to a lot of people, and I think a lot of people. There'll be people who want to start a podcast who are unsure of how to do it and what to do. There could be people in your situation who are unsure, but by watching you and seeing what you do with all the different videos that you've put up and posted, like the day in the life and stuff, people know it's achievable and that you can do it. There's no limits, man. So just keep going, man, because you're absolutely crushing it, and it's a privilege to be on here and to be able to be a part of this with you. So just well done, mate.
Let's talk about the Fulham game then. So
Yes.
I don't think it wasn't really a vintage display. It was all about like getting the job done, getting the 3 points.
Yeah. I think spot on, Chad. I think especially after last weekend's disappointment in the FA Cup, I think as long as we got that win, it didn't really matter how we got it, as long as we got it. Of course, we were typical Villa, and we made it fairly nervy
Yeah,
in parts. But
yeah.
we got the 3 points, man. And with these 4 games that we'd said beforehand, we just want to get the points. We don't care how. So 1 down, 3 to go in that respect.
The big thing as well, you got a clean sheet. Martinez, I mean, it's a rarity, really. So that was a good thing as well.
It wasn't a long time. It wasn't that long ago that you and I were celebrating clean sheets because they were so rare. I have to say, fair play with the team selection because I thought Mings would start, and when I saw Torres'
Yeah.
name, I was look. I've got nothing against Torres. I think he's a great player, but I did
Mhm.
think it was going to be Mings' turn, I guess. But full credit, I think he played really well, and he got a clean sheet, so can't really complain in that respect.
And I was glad as well that Ian Maatsen started. And I think we actually are better with him like the last few games. We'll come to it in a bit. But I was impressed again
Yeah,
in Maatsen.
yeah. I agree. I know we're going to touch on a bit later with him and Dean, but yeah, I think attacking wise he's good, and I think he's really sort of bought into the Emery system over the last few weeks, and we're starting to see what a player he can be for us. So yeah, I thought he was good. I thought John McGinn, as always, was the tempo setter. I
Yeah.
thought he was really combative and sort of led like a captain should lead. So I thought he was really good as
Because with
well.
McGinn, I think, he uses physicality. Not really well, McGinn.
Honestly, mate, I think we talk about statues. We need to when McGinn does, whenever he does leave or hang up his boots or whatever, we need a statue of his backside. I think at Villa Park because that backside is something to behold. Not a lot of players can get around him, and I think he uses it to his advantage. So
Yeah. But actually, I've got a McGinn haircut.
yeah, you have, yeah.
I think I look like McGinn.
You've not quite got the meatball head though. You've got like quite a nice shaped head. McGinn's got a bit of a meatball, hasn't
Also, look, Daniel Marvin, he was a real impact off the bench. And he should have scored. He had about 2 chances. And he hit the crossbar as well.
Yeah, he hit that with some venom, didn't he? That strike that hit the bar, that bar like almost snapped. It was a bit of a theme of the game, though, wasn't it? We did miss a few chances between Marlon, Watkins. I think there was chances there where we could have perhaps killed the game off. But no, Marlon, again, you make a good point. I think he's considering his chances have been limited since he's been at the club. He always comes on, doesn't moan.
Yeah.
He always looks to make that difference. So again, I was impressed with how he sort of came on.
And he's got a lot of pace. It's bad the way he gets forward. And I do think I'd like to see more of what he can do next season as well. There's more to come from him.
Yeah, he could be quite crucial with these last 3 games. I think I don't know if he's going to start at all, but if he doesn't, we know what we're going to get from him. We know he's going to give his all. So I think he can really make a difference in the final, 20 minutes to half an hour of a game if we're needing that goal. He's certainly a good asset to have.
And in general, I think as well, we need to take more of our chances. Be a bit more ruthless in front of goal, I think.
Yeah, I think Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, we just said then there were chances there that perhaps could have put the game to bed. Look, it's easier said than done. We're not in front of the goal, and when it's there, it might look harder than it does on the
Yeah,
TV. But I do think Watkins could have had a couple. I
he
don't know
could
if
have.
he's just. I don't know if he's just a bit. He's going through a bit of a moment, isn't he, Watkins? And I think it's probably the first time in his career where at Villa, especially, where maybe he's felt
Yeah,
slightly challenged by the manager, and usually he does seem to come through these spells. And I just think with the sort of being benched compared to Rashford, and I think with this record over his head, I do think
yeah,
he's maybe overthinking things a bit. I just think once he gets that next goal, and he will get it, I think the weight will sort of lift, and he'll just be
yeah.
back to normal. But he does seem a bit out of sorts. Our Ollie does.
He's a bit of a very frustrating character. I know Marcus Rashford, while he's injured, is a good opportunity for Watkins to prove himself.
Yeah. And look, I know Watkins and Rashford get on. I think they're good friends. But when the news broke that Rashford was injured, I bet Watkins was pretty buzzing about it. In regards to that,
Yeah,
it meant that he knew he was going to start the next 4 games. Pretty much, that was pretty, you know, um, set in stone. So, yeah, I just think I do think this goal record's hanging over his head a bit. I think he's probably overthinking it slightly because he knows the next one is going to be a big one. It's a
yeah.
massive goal for Villa, and for him to be the leading goal scorer of a club like Aston Villa is an incredible achievement for Ollie. So he just needs to get that goal, and I do sense it's coming. He just needs
And
to,
Ian Watkins, I really hope he stays.
what
That's what
you
I'm
what
hoping for you.
what your gut tell you. What do you think?
Oh, it's a difficult one, really. And I think it will come into it as well. If we get Champions League football.
Yeah,
But out of both, I mean, so, I like Watkins like that because I really like that Gabby's record, which I think he will. And I like his all-round game, Watkins. Even though, what he does without the ball.
yeah,
Always working hard.
yeah.
And the way that he's hold-up play, the way he does that, I think he does very well doing that.
I agree with you, Chad. I think he's definitely an asset to have for us. He's a threat in many ways. If it's down the channels, I think his hold up play is certainly improved. I think that's something that's improved a lot under Emery. Him sort of trying to link that, sort of dropping back a bit and linking that play, as opposed to just running on through the channels. I think he's added a lot more to his all round game. So I really want to keep him. I'm a massive fan, as you are. As you've got his top behind you.
Yeah.
You really like him. But I think, like we spoke about before, we touched on PSR in this new financial climate that we find
That could
ourselves
come
in.
into it.
If the right offer comes in for him, mate, and
Yeah.
it's too good to turn down, then he will go, won't he? And it also depends what he wants.
Yeah.
I think it's been a test of his character with Emery the last sort of couple of months, and I think he's responded well. Personally, I think
But
he's
what it
handled
is
it
as well,
well.
is it his personal ambitions as
Yeah,
well?
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
going to put that to one side.
yeah, for sure.
Because obviously, we're going to think what Emery wants.
Yeah, and also his age. Like, don't get me wrong, athletes nowadays they keep themselves very fit, and it doesn't matter. Like, back in the day, like once you were 30, you were done. Whereas now, I know it's like 35 to 40. But in terms
Oh,
of
yeah.
value for him, his age also comes into the equation as well now. So there's a few factors, like you say. Hopefully he stays, but I do think it's going to be an interesting summer. I do think there'll be a couple of surprises that may exit through the door. We'll see. I think getting Champions League is a big one though for us.
Well, we'll talk about Yuri Tielemans.
Oh,
He was man of the match, and also, he's been the consistent performer all season for Villa. And what a goal. I mean, really, Tielemans. He's not like tall, really, is he? He's quite small. For him to get onto that header, and he really well to score that for the corner.
It was, and he was a bully header as well, wasn't he? He really got some power behind that.
Yeah.
Um,
And McGinn,
Look-
great corner by McGinn.
yeah, and it was another Austin McPhee special, wasn't it? That's
Yeah.
15 set pieces now that we scored from. Look, Yuri Tielemans, he's sensational. He's consistent. He's already my player of the season, like by a mile. Like Yuri Tielemans for me. I
Yeah.
think the way he conducts himself on the pitch, I think his maturity in interviews, he's articulate. He honestly looks like he could be a future captain for Villa. The way, like, even his
Oh, I
sort of
agree.
interactions on like social media, he's always positive, but he understands, he reads the room, he knows what fans want. I just think he is he's unreal. And he always scores important goals in big games, I find. So he's for
And
me,
he's integral to the way we play. I
yeah,
think we're our most important player.
yeah, for sure. He
And the way he dictates the midfield.
yeah. Because you think about it, like how many times have you seen when he receives the ball in like a crowded midfield
Yeah.
and he just takes it under pressure, and he's a bit like, I'm not comparing him to Paul Scholes, but Paul Scholes did this thing where he always knew before he received the ball, he always knew where he's going to put it. He always knew about the next pass, and I think that's like Tielemans. Before that ball comes into him, he knows what he wants to do with it. Whether it's spin somebody, whether it's give it off, break the lines, he's a step ahead, and like he's a baller. He is a baller.
And he's constantly looking for that killer pass. But
Yeah.
against Fulham, but he fed the ball to Watkins on a few occasions. So he's got excellent vision.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you think that we got him on a free as well, it's
And what a
incredible
bargain,
bit
what a
of,
signing.
incredible bit of business. And it's also a testament to his character and Unai Emery, because let's not forget, he wasn't when he first came in last season, he wasn't a starter. It took him, I think, to like sort of November time to be last November, November 2023, sorry. It took him until then to sort of get into the team regularly, because he had to learn Emery's way in the system. And like he's evolved and adapted and become this absolute world beater in midfield. So, testament to him and Emery as well.
And what it is, he works very hard. And even what he does defensively, the way he positions himself. And let's remember, he's a Belgium international.
Yeah. And him with Onana as well, I think he's a good. He's almost like, I know, and forget he's quite young. Tielemans. I always feel like he's been around longer than he has.
Yeah.
But he looks like he's a good mentor as well for Onana. Obviously, teammates. I did see a sneaky little rumor with Kevin De Bruyne potentially. Imagine having the three.
Oh, imagine that.
Imagine that. We can
But we
dream.
imagine that.
We can dare to
With
dream. can't we?
Tielemans, I would give him player of the season now. Tielemans.
You're gonna give it right now?
I think it's there. I would actually give it that, yeah.
Mate,
Based on his performances.
I agree with you. Like, I think I gave him player of the season like 2 months ago. I think he's just been consistently good. He's played every game. He is a leader on and off the pitch, and he scores and he does everything you want a midfielder to do. So I'm with you on that one. Let's say it right now. Yuri Tielemans, player of the season. Done.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, another player I thought. Going back to Saturday, Matty Cash, he played really well. He was always a threat. But going forward as well, Matty Cash.
Matty Cash was good, yeah. And I do think he gets a bit of unfair stick, Matty Cash. I mean, I know. Look, he's not for what Emery wants. Maybe he's not going to be the right back that's going to be there for years to come. I don't know, but
Okay.
you can never say he comes off that pitch not giving it his all. And actually, I agree with you. I think he was getting forward well. He defended well. Like he was just consistently good throughout the whole game.
Look
And I
about
think,
what he
he's
did
had
as
a lot of
well.
games like that.
He
Sorry, go on.
gave a lot of support to the likes of Watkins and Rogers, the attackers.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think Cash has had more good games this season than bad games. Personally, I don't really get the hate with Cash. I'm a fan of Cash, to be honest. I think he tries, and from where he's come from and where he's been, I think it's he's another one that's improved a lot under Emery, and I think people forget that.
Yeah.
But like we said, clean sheet. He was part of that defense that got a clean sheet, so they defended well.
I'd like to go back to Emery. Yeah, his guy's really developed. He has been at part of a few seasons now. Not since we got promoted to the Premier League. In the Premier League.
Yeah. He's. I think as well. That's why players want to come to Villa, because they see what he does and what he's done with players, like the players we've just spoken about, and I think they see that that they can bring their game to that next level. So, yeah, all credit to Emery.
Yeah, I know his mentality as well. When I hear Matty Cash on interviews, he's always positive.
Yeah, he is. He's he seems like a good lad. I met him once actually. I met him in Cheltenham. Bumped into him in Cheltenham. And yeah,
what's he like?
He won't remember me, but he was. I just literally. I think he walked past the table, and I was like, I don't know. I think I said something like, "All right, Matty, up the Villa," or something cringe, and he just said like, I think he said like up the Villa or like, "You're right, Matt." Like just acknowledged it, and then just it was with a couple of his pals and moved on. But he seemed pretty chill, man. Seemed all right. So
does it? And also even though Fulham did play their part in the game. I mean, it got very nervy at one point. I still think with Fulham, I think they'll fall short in Europe. And they just might fall short.
Yeah, which is a shame. I saw your match preview with the guy from he's American, wasn't he? The Fulham.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Russ Goldman.
Yeah, that was a really good one. That was Chad, and he was saying how important Europe is for Fulham, and like obviously I would love them to get it, not at Villa's expense, but I would love Fulham to get in there because they're a nice, well-run club, family sort of club, I think, and they're it's a shame for them because Brentford and Brighton and Bournemouth, they're all looking quite good as well around that place. So there's still there could still be some twists and turns, but I feel like you say Fulham played their part, and it could have easily been a draw. It could have easily been a draw. Did you see Emery absolutely lose it?
I mean, do they need to do actually? Need to get Emery in camp.
Mate.
Give a YouTube channel.
Mate, that would be. I mean, he's animated, but that and to be fair, he was justified in doing that because Konza was dilly dallying on the ball, and we did that a few times.
He went mad at him.
Yeah, he was cussing him. He was waving his arms. He was going, wasn't he? And but you want that though, because you want players to recognise. Whoa! This game's not won yet, lads. This is not won yet. You need to focus for the whole 90 minutes, 99 minutes, whatever it was in the end. But it was funny though.
Yeah. I love his reaction. I really like his passion and his attention to detail.
Yeah, you're not going to find many managers who are that meticulous as Emery, are you? I think, and especially when you hear players and other coaches speak about him, they're like, I think he's in early, leaves late. The players are like, we're doing these analysis sessions for like an hour and a half, and like individual players are doing their own analysis, and it's like it's a lot, but that's a good way, to learn the opposition and to learn how to play your part in the game. So
There's a lot of players. Emery on the training ground, they always watch their previous Premier League home games. Sort of, for example, if they're playing at home side the week after, they'll watch their previous game to analyse where they went wrong.
And that's smart, isn't it? That's a smart thing to do, because, and you can imagine if me and you were players, like you'd want to know how you can improve and always and keep you want to become the best version of yourself, right? So even if you had in your eyes, you might think you had a good game, but it's good to go back through and analyze that actually, well, if you were actually in that position rather than there, or if you had moved over there, like it helps. And I think that's why we're seeing so many players develop so well at Villa, like Cash, McGinn, Mings, Watkins, these sort of players, Ramsey, because of the in-depth analysis, like you just said then, that Emery does. Even when they've played the game, they'll go over it. I think it's really good, really, really good.
So the Champions League race, it's getting very interesting. So how do you think the last 3 games are going to plan out? And what is your prediction? I'll get this graphic on the screen.
Yeah.
And I'll show the remaining fixtures for all the teams. So yeah, I've got this on the screen.
Very good.
So what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, look, I'm in that I'm in that mentality of we have to win. So in my mind, Villa are going to win every game. That we have to. So
we have to, yeah.
I do think there's a big game next week. Newcastle play Chelsea, so there's going to be points dropped there.
Yeah.
Either way. Forest for me, I don't know, because Forest are a bit flaky at the minute, but then their fixtures are quite nice. That could be a massive game last season, them against Chelsea, because I do think Newcastle are going to be there. I think my heart of hearts is telling me Forest will drop off, and it'll be between us and Chelsea. Chelsea beating Liverpool yesterday. I mean, you can
that wasn't a great result.
You can speak to your friend Abby about that. They did us no
favor. I'm not very happy with them that at all. On the beach.
What do you? So, I mean, if you look at the percentage that they give us, 13.7% chance.
We got the lowest chance.
What's your heart telling you, man? What do you think?
Yeah. I think it's doable. I mean, my heart's telling me we can do it, but our mind's saying, I think we'll get Europa League. Maybe we might just fall short.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
And that wouldn't be bad. I mean, I do think out of those 3 fixtures that we've got, I'm looking at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And
that's a hard fixture.
It's a hard fixture.
That worries me the most.
It does, but then you look at their recent form at home, like they are beatable. Brentford, Ipswich, and Wolves have all beat them at home in recent weeks. So if Villa are bang at it, are fully focused for the whole game, and maybe Bournemouth are slightly off it, then with those conditions, I think we can beat them. Tottenham and Man United, the thing we have with them is that they're pretty much a shoo-in for the Europa League final now. So
hopefully,
hopefully their attention is more towards that. Because I mean, the league, they're done. They've got nothing to play for in the league, whereas we have. So that's the only thing that we've got in our favour regarding those two. Man United, though, have Ahmad back, who is a bit of a game changer. I think Ahmad's a bit of a threat for them. So it's going to be tough, mate. But we've just got to win our games, which is easier said than done. But I do
All it
think
is, we got to focus on the job that we've got. Don't look at the other results. We've got to do what we've got to do.
I think, yeah, Arsenal, City are done. I mean, Arsenal. If we win our 3 games and they happen to lose, we could, Arsenal could be. It's really open. That Bournemouth are going to be buzzing because of that win against Arsenal the other day. But I do think my heart is saying it will be between us and Chelsea, but we could fall short. But I don't want to think like that. I want to be really positive. But I'm aligned with you slightly.
Yeah. Go on, it's only away games. We seem to struggle more away from home. We've got a better record at home. The fortress at Villa Park. But away form, we have been awful.
And that's where we've really got to change now. Like Emery really needs to get do you know how we start home games and we're just at it. We almost need to just be like that away and just have that same mentality. Just look at every game like it's at home. And I'd rather lose a game and drop points to a team that we've attacked and tried rather than just sit back passive and then we lose. Like I hate that. Like the Palace game, the FA Cup game was horrendous. So I think, Bournemouth's the one. If we can beat Bournemouth, I do think that will then give us that momentum again. And it will then make other teams look over their shoulder a bit. I think Newcastle, Chelsea will think if we beat Bournemouth away, they'll be a bit like, oh, okay, So we'll see. But
if Europa League, we need Man City to beat Crystal Palace. In Crystal Palace, if they win the FA Cup, they get that Europa League spot.
Oh, so we would then lose out. What? When we get conference?
Yeah. Instead, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So I now don't want Palace to. Okay. Right. That makes sense. Right. Palace. I hope you lose. What an interesting race for the neutral, though. Like it's.
Oh yeah, for neutral, it's great.
I can't remember it being this wide open for a long time. With the 5th spot as well that's opened up, it's made it really interesting.
Well, I was going to actually quickly ask you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Man United? As like Spurs, all the 4 seasons. To say if they won the Europa League, they get Champions League football. I mean, they don't really deserve it, really, do they?
No, it's a bit of a flaw, isn't it, in the whole thing? But the good thing is, for the neutral, it doesn't affect we'd have 6 teams in, wouldn't we? Then it doesn't take a spot from that. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, so in that respect, if it took one of the spots in the league, then I'd be a bit more concerned. But look, they've not deserved it. But then, if they're going to go in the Champions League with the squads they've got, I mean, they could get battered because they've been poor. So, it's good for them because they can then attract players. So it's just a weird one. But I think fair play to managers. They've thought, well, in the league when we've not really got a chance, so we're going to target winning the Europa League, and it's not an easy competition. So the fact that it could be 2 English teams in the final is testament to how they've played. But it's a bit dodgy, and they've had poor seasons. Out of the 2 of them, who would you want to win? If it came down to the 2 of them in the final, who would you rather?
Probably Tottenham.
Yeah,
I don't like Man United. Not really a fan.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Also, not since our victory against Fulham, whatever happens, we've got European football. It's just a question which competition we're in.
Yeah, that makes it three seasons on the bounce now. So
That's a good
you know,
achievement.
it's a really good achievement. Can't complain really. We've just been spoilt this season in Champions League, so
Yeah.
we obviously we yearn for more, which is good, and it's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
But no, look, I think whatever happens will reflect the season. We've not been great in the Premier League, so if we do get Champions League, I'll be very impressed and very
Because
happy.
Champions League, that's what we all want. Because
Yeah,
the Villa players, with Emery, they got the taste for it last season, so they want it again.
yeah, and rightly so. And again, that's the mentality that he has. That Emery, Monchi, that the whole sort of Villa hierarchy. That's the mentality that they've instilled in the fans, and the culture that they've created is that winning culture, and it's that culture of we are Aston Villa. We want to be with the big boys. So to do that, we have to be in the Champions League consistently, and that's that's where we're at now. So we are disappointed when we're not sort of we're still in with the shout of getting it, and we've been disappointed as fans that we've been dropping off every now and then, and
Yeah.
that's a really good way to be because our expectation levels rise, and that means the players feed off it, the manager feeds off it, so we're all sort of united in that mentality. So it's it's a good time to be a Villa fan, regardless of what happens this season. We've had it. It's been
Yeah.
a good season. It really has been a good season. Very
Yeah.
enjoyable.
And also, before we carry on, let's say rest in peace to McPlan, and it was the last Savoy member who won the FA Cup in 1957. So thoughts of his family at this sad time, and he's a legend. All tenders in the sky.
Yeah, well said, Chad. Yeah, Villa legend, and that FA Cup victory will always be remembered. And his name is just he's just one that every Villa fan knows, young and old. So sending thoughts to the family.
I actually didn't realise that the other day. But he was the last one of that generation. But we still, even today, though, we still don't forget them now.
Yeah. No, he's incredible, and I think it was only a couple of weeks ago. I think he was at Villa or he was doing an interview or something. So he it's sad, but it's also it's so great that we've got a player of his stature
Of course.
to leave a legacy and to sort of have that trophy win, that important trophy win all the way back then. And there's been some good stories actually, listening to different podcasts and people who have interviewed him or met him, and he sounded like a really humble and nice man. So sad.
Do you want to talk about Maatsen or Luke and Dinge? So who is better?
Who is better? I have to start off by saying I do want to give Luca Dean a lot of respect, and because when Emery first came in, it looked like the writing was on the wall for Luca Dean. It really did, and he saw off Alex Moreno. Maatsen came in and didn't get in, hasn't been in the squad, the starting lineup really all season. And Luca Dean has sort of just embodied and sort of what Emery wants from his team, and he's become reliable to Emery. You saw it in the Fulham game. To close out that game, he brought Dean on to sort of try and handle Adama Traore, which on paper is a mismatch because of the speed and the pace of Traore. But Luca he's smart, he's quite cute with how he plays, and he might not have the legs, but he's got the awareness. So I think we saw both strengths of our fullbacks against Fulham. Maatsen attacking wise, and to be fair, defensively he was pretty solid. But then Luca Dean just being that very smart sort of defender and making
I mean,
sure.
Emery, it's competition.
Yeah,
Some places as well. Yeah.
we're lucky to have them both. Honestly, mate, I think it's you can start to see now that Maatsen's he's going to be the starting left back, whether it's a starter next season or whether it's the next sort of 3 games. I do think you're starting to see that shift. But Luca Dean is he's definitely learned a lot off him, and I can't rate him highly enough, especially the start of this season. I remember at one point, I think he was our best player for like 4 or 5 games. He was whipping those balls in, those crosses.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So,
Luca Dean is a solid squad player
yeah, yeah.
to have in your team.
What about you? What do you think? Do you think there's a better one, or are you sort of like appreciating them both?
I do like them both. Based on current form, I'll say Ian Maatsen, but they both give you something different. They got like different attributes and different qualities.
Yeah,
I think with Ian Maatsen, he's better equipped to going forward, and then Dinge is more equipped like defensively.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think as well, like Maatsen will become better from like watching and learning off Dina defensively as well.
Good Maatsen, like the way he uses pace
Yeah,
and the attacking side of his game. And so he's very quick, sort of very nippy, really. And
yeah,
he's got age on his side. He's younger,
yeah.
obviously, than Luca Dinge.
He's not afraid to shoot either, is he, Maatsen? When he gets in that position in
Oh,
the
yeah.
box, he always seems to be
Yeah.
like when we're attacking, you find him on the edge of that box, and he's not afraid. There's been a couple. There was a shot against Man's. Was it PSG? Sorry, PSG,
PSG,
and then
right
Fulham.
at the
Like,
end of the game.
yeah, he's got a hell of a shot on him.
Okay.
So I expect him to get more goals as well in the coming season. So it's exciting. It was spoiled, and it's good to have them both. Yeah.
Well, Luca Dinge, I think there might be I don't think he will go in the summer. Remember last summer, there was talk about him leaving.
Yeah, Saudi.
I think it was Saudi, wasn't it? So it'd be interesting what happens to Luca Dinge in the summer.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his contract is. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was moved on. But then we need a
And
replacement.
PSR.
Ideally, we're going to
Yeah.
want two left backs in, aren't we? Whether he looks to the youth, I don't know. But it's we'll see what happens in regards to that. But Luca Dean's been a really good servant to us. I think when he first came into Gerrard, he was decent. Then I thought he was a bit average, and then I think under Emery, he's really sort of flourished, and I've been very, very happy with him on the whole.
What about Luca Dinge? But he battles really well. But he wins the duels. He's always competitive.
Yeah, yeah, he is, and yeah, we'll see where he is come summertime.
Yeah.
Like I say, he could be one of the exits out the door, but we'll see what happens.
Good, it's both players are utilised in different games. But in that FA Cup game, like Luca Dinge, it didn't suit him.
No, I think that game was crying out for Matt. I mean, we said it on the review, didn't we? That we thought Maatsen would have been better placed for that, but then I guess that sort of feeds into the rotation of late and what Emmy's been doing, and I know that's something that you want to explore.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm going to do one more question.
yeah,
So over the last few weeks, what have you made of Unai Emery's rotation with the squad and timing of substitutions during the game.
Sorry for sniffing so much. My allergies have been wild over
No, that's
here, so
okay.
that's why. Sorry. In terms of timings of the substitutes, I think have been fine. Like he's not one of these managers to wait till like the 85th minute.
You don't wait too long, though. You don't want to wait too long.
I do think he's quite. We've had managers over the years who barely make changes or make changes too late. He maybe the Leon Bailey one was a bit late in the FA Cup, but even that I think there was Ross Barkley. Yeah, in terms of rotation, Chad, I've been a bit iffy with it recently, just because I do feel that there's an element of like him trying to please players rather than playing players who maybe you deserve. Like I think bringing Disassi on a couple of times was because he knew that he couldn't play in the FA Cup, and it was like he doesn't need to come on. And I think Ross Barkley, you know, over Onana in the FA Cup, he didn't really need to come on. So there's been a few questionable, you know, rotations or squad selections.
Taking off McGinn.
Yeah,
Captain John McGinn.
That was an odd one, yeah. But I think like it's a massive squad to manage, and for the majority of the season, I do. I mean, we've had injuries to be fair, that's probably helped, but I do think he's managed it pretty well. It's only really been since January when you've got Rashford, Asensio, Marlon, all these boys coming in, and I don't think they envisioned having all three of them. And then it's about, well, we've got Asensio and Rashford on a short term, so I sort of need to play them. And then that's been the detriment to Watkins. And then maybe McGinn's missed out a couple of games because of Asensio, and Ramsey may have missed out. So like that sort of might have rocked it slightly, but I do think on the whole, it's been okay. It's just been recent weeks. There's been a few things where I've been like, oh, maybe Mings or maybe this, but it's nothing too tragic, really.
Nothing major, though.
But I do think there could have been a few times it could have been better. What about you?
Remember as well, been playing a lot of games this season.
Yeah.
The fixture congestion. Champions League. It's a bit, you know, Emery. He's got a big responsibility.
And really, yeah, you're spot on. And really, you could say that, you know, we've got to a quarter-final Champions League.
Yeah.
And the selection was actually, I thought, was okay for that. Like, you know, we were almost there. The one game I'd say where we suffered was probably the FA Cup semi-final, which is where the squad selection wasn't the best, and then the subs were coming on a bit late. So if I'm going to pinpoint a game or a moment where I thought it wasn't the best, was that game. Other than that, really, we've been firing on all fronts, and we've sort of managed to creep through these competitions and up the league, and we're still in with the shout of Champions League because I can't really.
You know, Emery, he's good at prioritising what he wants the club to achieve.
Yeah. No, he is. Yeah. The Premier League's always been the one, you know, and anything else.
Obviously,
yeah, it wants to go far, but it's like we want to be consistently in Europe, ideally Champions League. So the league's going to be the one to focus on. So, yeah, look, a few questionable decisions regarding squad rotation and substitutions, but nothing heavy. I do think on the whole he's managed the squad very well. It's only been in recent weeks that I'd say it's been a bit disrupted, but even then we've still won games and we're still on a fairly good run. So it's like, you know.
So before we finish, I'll go to a few comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're Scotty UK. Asensio struggling. Does he start? Not for me, he's put.
Not for me. Yeah. To be fair, Scotty, I would agree. I think he's been much more influential coming off the bench, and I do think the games have sort of passed him by in sort of recent weeks. I've not really seen him do much. I mean, look, I've not been at the games because I'm over in the States, so people at the stadium could see different to me, but that's my opinion. I think he's a great player, but I've not seen much from him in recent weeks, so
Yeah,
I would tend to agree with Scotty.
come underneath as well. Then we got Scotty UK again. Unai has got a 60 points plus every season. He's been here. That's a great stat.
That is a great start. I think last season was the most points we've got in a season, isn't it? Was it like 60? Was it 67 we finished on last season?
Something like that. I didn't see on Sky Sports. He has 7 points worse off than last season. But to get to that 60-point mark, it's not easy
No.
in the Premier League, especially.
No, for sure. And I think if we win our next 3 games, I think that would, if we got 69 points, that's the most I think we've ever got in a league season. So I think, yeah, again, Unai is consistent and he knows that in his mind at the start of the season, he'll have a point target and 60 plus will be, he probably knows should be enough to get you in those European places. So, yeah, fair comment.
Well, yeah, well, enjoy this podcast now, right?
Likewise.
Thank you for coming on the show again.
Thank you for having me.
It was great. Yeah, no problem. And also, so Thursday, I'll be doing a Bournemouth preview with
Big one.
Up the Cherries in all departments. So make sure to tune into that on Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Make sure to hit the like button. Smash the likes. Make sure to give it a share. Also, make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also, if you're listening via audio, make sure to give us a good review on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Thank you, Aaron, for your time.
Always, mate. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to seeing the Bournemouth preview on Thursday. It's going to be a big one. So, good luck with that.
Yeah, thank you. Well, Villa forever. And up the Villa.